Yeah, welcome to another episode of UFC7.net. Still jamming himself up. You're still watching, and this is the prediction of UFC 123. Jackson versus Machida. And this is the aftermath after Velasquez beatdown of Brock Lesnar, and it was a beatdown. And now it's another action-packed card, this time in Detroit. Devil's Night, Quinton Rampage Jackson, Lyoto Machida, The Dragon, Matthews, BJ Penn, upcoming prospect Phil Davis, and Georgia boy, George Soteropoulos. I actually want to see him fight Frankie Edgar instead of, what is his name? The Bully. Because, he's boring. He's a decision guy. Georgia boy in his last fight, it was aggressive, scrambled, he was dominating. I want to see that instead. And hey, the return of Kara Parisian, he's back in the UFC. We will see his judo throw, or maybe he's just his afro, I don't know. Everybody's talking about this is the year of the super wrestler, big buffed up wrestlers who can do whatever they want, like Ryan Bader and stuff like that. But the thing is, Ken Velasquez, he's a medium-sized heavyweight. Shogun, he's actually a small light heavyweight. Frankie Edgar, he's a tiny-ass lightweight. So I'm gonna name the end of the year, the era, or the revenge of the little people. Let's start with the main event of the evening. Quinton Rampage Jackson versus Lyoto the Dragon Machida. Two former champions with a brutal Shogun history. And you're thinking, what is Shogun history? You saw when Shogun knocked out Lyoto Machida and was pounding him. Rampage, he has actually been stopped by Shogun, with kicks to the head. In Pride, you can actually kick a guy when he was sitting down, and then they stopped the fight. So that was brutal. Rampage was my number one fighter. It was my favorite, His strength was his strength, He can do this crazy wrestling moves, like slam them on the head, throw them like a rag doll. And he got heavy hands. And he actually competed in K1 a little bit. Hey, chill on the grill. He was facing a name Cyril Abidi. He's not a technical striker. He's a brawler. But, Rampage, he's close to impossible to knock out. So, if you brawl with Rampage, what happens? Rampage will win. But, before he was using his wrestling, he was faster than, and not just rely on his hands. The thing is, he fought Ninja, Shogun's brother, back in 2005, and that was a questionable win, decision win for Rampage. And Shogun got mad, challenged him. I want to challenge you. And Shogun had just turned 23 years of age. He was 4-0 in Pride, upcoming guy. And I was like, come on, man, Shogun, you will get murdered by this guy. But then they faced in the Pride Grand Prix, and Shogun made an example of Rampage. Then he won the whole tournament. So they have a history. Okay, Lyoto Machida and Rampage, how do they match up? The thing is, Lyoto Machida is a counter fighter. He's like a fencer. Like one strike and get the fuck out of there. And how would Rampage catch Lyoto Machida? He's a counter fighter. Rampage, he's aggressive. He don't check kicks. He just goes forward and try to finish the fight with one punch knockout. His greatest weapon is his left hook and his uppercuts. And the thing is, in the UFC, he have never slammed anyone. He have not used his wrestling, and he has to do this against Machida. And I don't think he will use his wrestling. Use his boxing. He uses boxing, but in Rampage, he's not a high caliber striker. Shogun beat Machida, but Shogun is a high caliber striker, extremely aggressive, don't afraid to get taken down or like tagged. He was like running after Machida, and Rampage will not be that aggressive, and he ain't that fast. So the fight will end a decision. Maybe a blooded up Rampage. I don't think Lyoto Machida will be able to finish Rampage, but it will be like the fight against Tito Ortiz. Okay, Rampage had got better hands, but he don't use his wrestling, and don't be surprised if Lyoto Machida takes Rampage down. If he will finish Rampage, it has to be through a submission, like rear naked choke or something. Rampage chance is to catch Lyoto Machida with one of the haymakers, maybe that left hook. So Lyoto Machida decision, but I hope Rampage will win because I want to see a rematch between Rampage versus Shogun. Okay, extra, read all about it. I got something importante to say. Log on to UFCevent.net. How do you think the fight between Rampage and the Dragon will end? TKO or KO, submission or decision? Log on now and vote. And do you think UFC should cut Tito Ortiz? Log on and vote now. Yeah. Matthews versus BJ Penn. Interesting because this is the rubber match. You got one win each. Last time they fought, BJ Penn actually lost, and that was when he came back to the UFC and he wanted to get that welterweight back. And BJ Penn actually had his first belt in welterweight. But now the table have turned. BJ Penn got 2 losses now in a row, both to Frankie Edgar, and Frankie Edgar is a small dude in lightweight. The revenge of the little people. BJ Penn is actually a smaller guy now against Matthews, and he will use his takedown defense, his superior boxing. His mistake against Frankie Edgar that he didn't use his physical size and his wrestling. But in this fight, he shouldn't use his wrestling. He should use his boxing. When the opportunity is there, he will get that takedown against Matthews. If you do that, he can finish Matthews. Rear naked choke again. I don't think he will Thiago Alves Matthews, with muscle him, finish with a jumping knee and like pound him to death. But this rear naked choke, second round, BJ Penn. Clash of styles. Gerald Harris versus Michael Falcao. Gerald Harris, the man with the plan. No, the man with the slam. He is slamming people like Rampage slam people in Pride, and Michael Falcao is a shootbox product. Shootbox, aggressive, good boxing, the takedown defense, kind of. So Gerald Harris would dominate this with his wrestling, maybe a slam, but it smells decision. But if Michael Falcao can, get in some punches, it can be interesting. But Gerald Harris should take this easy. All right, super talented Phil Davis versus Tim Boach, and this is a bad matchup. Phil Davis will take him down, and win for decision. Yeah, maybe because Phil Davis, he has actually a no-gi champion, so he can finish it through a sub. Should we say Anaconda choke? 2 times in a row, maybe. Anaconda choke, Phil Davis. Watch out for this guy because he is something. Georgia boy. George Soteropoulos versus Joe Lawson. This can be fight of the night. George Soteropoulos, good ass fighter, and he was fighting in welterweight before, but now he's fighting in lightweight. And he got 2 losses. One back in the days. And the second loss was to Aoki after 5 minutes, a groin kick, so he got disqualified. So, but after that, he dominated Joe Stevenson. He smashed Kurt Pellegrino with wrestling, subs, everything. I say he's scrambling eggs in his fight. He's a good ass scrambler. Joe Lawson, I don't know what he can offer, but Joe Lawson, his latest loss have been to Kenny Florian and Sam Stout, but after that, you know, he been winning, but Joe Soteropoulos have beaten better guys. So it can be a decision, but it's gonna be entertaining. Mark my words. And Georgia boy, I believe after this he maybe will get a title shot. And it's all over!